So every school out there wants its teachers to master the latest technology. But how do you actually make that happen? Well, today we get to pull back the curtain on one district's answer, a super detailed, week-by-week blueprint designed to empower every single educator for the modern classroom. Let's dive in and see exactly how they pulled it off. So, where did this come from? Well, this blueprint is the real deal, straight from the WISD Technology Department. And we're not talking about just some memo or a friendly suggestion here. This is a full-blown, semester-long strategy for some serious digital transformation. And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing to go out and buy all the shiny new tech, right? But it's a whole different ballgame to actually build the confidence and the skills for teachers to use it well every single day. This plan is WISD's answer to that very question. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the big idea behind their Tech Me Out plan. Then we'll follow a teacher's journey, starting with the basics in Google Workspace and then jumping into the future with AI. After that, we'll check out the systems that make the whole school tick, and finally, we'll zoom out and talk about what all this really means for learning. Okay, first up, the blueprint itself. They've got this great name for it, Tech Me Out Training. And what's so smart about it right from the get-go is that it's built completely around what teachers actually need. And I want you to really lock in on that key word right there, confidence. This isn't about trying to turn every teacher into a computer whiz. Nope. The goal is to build up confident educators who see tech as just another great tool in their belt, something to help them do what they already do best, which is, teach. So how do they do it? Well, it all comes down to a few core principles. First, the training has to be practical and hands-on. No boring theory here. It's also collaborative, and it's designed to work for everyone, no matter your skill level. And maybe most importantly, it's available. Teachers can pop into these short virtual sessions whenever they can squeeze in an hour. Okay, so where does this whole journey kick off? It starts exactly where you'd expect, right? Where most teachers are living and breathing digitally every day, inside Google Workspace. That entire first month, it's all about building a super solid foundation. So, for the first 2 weeks, it's all about the tools for collaboration. We're talking about mastering shared docs for lesson planning, creating those really engaging presentations and slides, and even building quizzes in Google Forms that grade themselves. These are the absolute workhorses. Then, in weeks 3 and 4, the game changes a little. The focus shifts to making life easier, to efficiency. The training gets into how you can really streamline your workflow, maybe using Sheets to track student data, finally mastering Google Classroom for all your assignments, or running really great virtual classes in Google Meet. All right, foundation's built. Now, this is where the program takes a really bold step forward. It leans right into the future, dedicating a huge chunk of time to the new AI toolkit for educators. And this part is so important. They don't just throw teachers into the deep end and say, go figure out AI. No way. They start with the basics, right? Just understanding what these modern AI assistants can actually do while also spending real time on how to use these powerful new tools responsibly and ethically in a school. And this is a perfect example of how they take something that sounds really abstract and make it totally concrete. For something like Notebook LM, they break it down into a simple 1, 2, 3 process. Step 1, you upload your own stuff, like a unit plan. Step 2, you ask it specific questions. And step 3, boom. It can generate summaries or study guides for you. It literally becomes a personal teaching assistant that knows your content. What's also cool is how the training shows that one single AI tool can be used in totally different ways by different people. On one hand, you've got teachers using it as a creative brainstorming partner, for planning lessons or making different materials for different students. And on the other hand, you've got administrators using the exact same tool for efficiency, like drafting emails or summarizing data. It's a classic case of one tool, many, many jobs. But look, being productive on your own is just one piece of the puzzle, right? A modern school runs on these big campus-wide systems. So the next part of the training is all about making sure every teacher can confidently use the school's core digital plumbing, if you will. So here, they do a deep dive into the school's learning management systems, or LMS. They cover Canvas for all the usual stuff, course creation, gradebooks, that kind of thing. But they also offer specialized training on Seesaw, which is a fantastic platform for building digital portfolios, especially with the younger K-5 students. And of course, you've got the Student Information System, the SIS. This training is all about the day-to-day stuff.
How do you quickly look up a student's schedule, check attendance, find parent contact info without digging through a million files? It's super practical.
And then, in the final weeks, it all comes together right there in the physical classroom with a focus on hardware. This means things like best practices for managing a classroom full of Chromebooks, and of course, how to get the most out of those big interactive touch panels, for annotating on the screen or sharing student work with the whole class. Okay, so we've walked through this entire packed schedule. Let's take a step back. What's the big picture here? What's the real impact of a plan this thought out? Well, first, just the sheer scale of it. 16 weeks, 16 consecutive weeks of training. I mean, this is not a one-and-done workshop. This is a serious, sustained commitment to helping teachers grow week after week. And when you see it all laid out like that, you realize this isn't just a tech training schedule at all. It's a blueprint for empowering teachers. The belief behind it is really simple. If you invest in your teachers' skills and their confidence, you are directly investing in a better classroom experience for every single student. And the structure is really what makes it all click. It's so smart because it starts with what teachers already know, right? It builds that solid foundation with Google, and then it just logically layers on the more advanced stuff, all the way up to the AI assistants that are, let's be honest, going to shape the future of education. And this is what you get. This is what the Modern Teacher's Toolkit really looks like when it all comes together. It's this awesome blend of collaboration tools, smart AI assistants, the core management platforms, and the interactive hardware in the classroom, all of it designed to work together. And really, it all boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea. The technology, that's just the tool. The real investment is in the people using it. This entire plan is built on that philosophy that empowering your teachers is the most direct, most effective path to lifting up your students. Which kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. This blueprint feels so on point for today, right? But we all know technology doesn't stand still for a second. So it makes you wonder, what's next? What new skills, what new tools are going to be absolutely essential in a teacher's toolkit 5 or even 10 years down the road?